Welcome back to the Trust Arena for the fourth match of the competition in the OFC President's Cup. It's Amicale of Vanuatu taking on Busaiteen of Bahrain. And we're just moments away from a start. Miles, this is the game that we've been waiting for.
Much so.
Everybody's keen to see what Busaiteen are like.
Very, very much so. I mean, they're a professional side as well. They're probably, other than Auckland City, they'd be the favourites for this tournament. We saw Amicale took a little bit while to get going against Fiji, but ended up very, very strong in the game. They'll be looking for an improvement, and I'd imagine they'd have to improve on the other night if they're going to get a result against Busaiteen.
So Amicale had a very good start to the competition when they defeated Fiji under-20s 3-0. The standout player there was Nikos Panagiotis. He's going to find tonight's opponents a heck of a lot more difficult than Fiji under-20. It's a far more experienced lineup. They're not going to give him the space in between the lines.
I'll tell you something else though, that they would have been, Busaiteen would have been looking at that game and looked at Panagiotis and thought, this is a guy we've got to close down. So it'll be interesting to see how they mark him, or whether they just go out there and say, let's not worry about them, let them worry about us.
Well, a club from Vanuatu has never before faced a club from Bahrain. And they're going to get a baptism of fire. They're up against a side that has previously won the Bahraini Premier League, the Bahraini Cup. They reached the final of the King's Cup competition as well. More games coming up for you on Friday. Auckland City taking on Bodden Town at 5 p.m. local time. And then Busaiteen finish off their group campaign against Fiji under-20s. Amicale pretty much stack up exactly the same way as they did in the opening match. No changes for coach Jean-Robert Yalou. As for Busaiteen, well, they're going to line up in a 4-4-2 formation. The two players that you should keep your eye on are defender Juliano De Paula and his fellow Brazilian compatriot Eliel Cruz, who starts up front.
Must be a bit of a burden to bear being a Brazilian, that everyone expects you to be the best player in your team.
Well, it certainly comes with a great deal of responsibility. Juliano De Paula is very experienced. He's played most of his football in Bahrain over the years. He did have a spell in domestic football in his own country, of course, before relocating to the Middle East. So the referee for tonight's game is Nelson Sogo of the Solomon Islands. Assistant referees are Terry Piri of the Cook Islands and Bertrand Bial of New Caledonia. Fourth official is Ravatesh Bihari. And unusually enough, two goalkeepers sporting the captain's armbands. Hussein Haram of Busaiteen and Chika Mansale of Amicale. Well, Amicale have pushed Auckland City all the way in the OFC Champions League, and they've nearly won the competition twice previously, this season, or last season, and 2011. They'll never have come up against a team of this calibre.
And you can tell that they're the more professional team because they've all got their names on their shirts, Gordon.
Well, there you go.
It may be a small thing, but it's a very important thing. I'm quite impressed by the stature as well of the, I'm assuming he's going to be a centre-half with the size of him. Kusi.
That's right, Abdul Karim Kusi. He's a very tall figure playing alongside Juliano De Paula. Busaiteen in their squad list for the Bahraini Premier League have a squad of 53 players, and they've sent a pretty experienced group here, a mixture of players who are under the age of 23. And up front, alongside Elio Cruz's Mohamed Ajaj. Expect plenty of pace in goal from him. And we're underway at the Trust Arena. Busaiteen in the blue, all blue kit, and Amicale in their traditional all red kit. Here's Mohamed Al-Khalaf, Abdul Karim Kusi, De Paula. First touch of the ball for Hashim Naim. Helped on by Mohamed Sultan. It's all Busaiteen to begin with, perhaps as we expected. Awkward one for...
That looked like he touched that outside the area. I think he's very lucky to get away with that. Admittedly, a bit of an angle to it, but it looked highly suspicious.
That's a good kick, though, to recover. I'll say Vakatalasau just tried to cushion it.
Well, we noticed that every side has struggled in the first sort of 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes to get to grips with this blustery wind. Be interesting to see if Busaiteen, who haven't had the benefit of the game as Amicale have.
Oh, and they've got a chance already in the opening minutes. Busaiteen, good save by Chika Mansale, and it's onto the roof of the net. Well, Amicale not getting any time to settle on the ball. After just 80 seconds, Busaiteen could have been 1 goal up. It was an amazing run on the outside. I think that was Mushtaba Malek. Got through. He went a little bit too high, if anything. Perfect height for the goalkeeper to stop. If he had gone low, who knows, Chika Mansale would have been in a spot of bother.
But undoubtedly, the quickest settling we've seen of any side in any game so far. There was me wondering whether they settled, but they certainly showed me that they have.
Hashim Naim with the corner. Those two enormous targets of Giuliano De Paula and Abdul Karim Kusi immediately into the 6-yard box. Like a double-barreled shotgun, for want of a better way of describing it. Kusi is about 1.8 meters, 1.88 meters tall, and De Paula is around about 1.85 meter. Very, very big men. Here's Ian Hogg. The experience of players like Hogg and Panagiotis are going to be vital for Amicale tonight.
We just wonder how much ball Panagiotis is going to actually see tonight, Gordon. He was given plenty of opportunity against the Fijians the other night, but I think Busaiteen are going to be a different kettle of fish, and his chances may be few and far between.
This is Malek, who, interestingly enough, is very close to All Whites coach Anthony Hudson. Hudson, of course, a former Bahrain coach, and also had a lot to do with the development of the Bahrain under-23 side. Malek was a part of that. Here's Hashim Naim. Francois Sakama gets a hold of the ball. Tries to pop it over the top of Kusi. That's ambitious. Al-Khalaf for Kusi. Picked up by Uchino. Gets it moving to Dominique Fred. Ian Hogg joins in. Hogg lofting it into the box. That's going to be meat and drink for Al-Khalaf. Naim. Good tackle by Sakama. Well, Amicale definitely in a match now, Miles.
Very much so, but I've got to say, Uchino was magnificent the other night as well, and we've just seen the two of them, him and Panagiotis, are going to be key in the middle of the park for Amicale if they're going to have a chance.
Here's Uchino.
And Grazia at the back, who was an absolute rock the other night. He's going to have to be at his best tonight. And Brian Kaltak certainly cannot afford to have his poor day at the office as he had the other night. I like him as a footballer. There's a lot to like about him, but it's certainly, hopefully he's got rid of the rust from the other night, and we'll see Kaltak at his best.
Well, Mohamed Ajaj and Elil Cruz are going to give Kaltak And Grazia, a busy night one expects. Uchino. He's got a free kick, Adrian Uchino. Just a chance for Amicale to draw breath. Alphonse Bongheim looking for a target. It's not often that. Oh, that's a good ball by Bongheim. Al Khalaf has to get involved. It's a corner for Amicale. Well, it's not often that you see Osea Vakatalasau appear as one of the shorter players, but standing next to Abdul Karim Kusi.
And I think he's fluffed his hair up tonight just to give him that extra couple of inches. But
Abdul Karim Kusi is man marking Osea Vakatalasau. That's going to be some intriguing battle. Here's the corner. Oh, and Vakatalasau threw himself bravely at it, but it was cleared by Giuliano De Paula. Hoisted back towards Panagiotis against Nayem. Now it's Chino.
Oh,
that's a good ball. Well. Good header. And Hussein Haram with the regulation save. So a good start to this game. Amicale against Busaiteen. Group A of the OFC President's Cup. Match day 2. Panagiotis. Vakatalasau. And Panagiotis has got a free kick. It was Mohammed Sultan who flew into the challenge.
Already this has got the look of the match of the tournament so far.
That was the cross from Uchino to the far post. And Osea Vakatalasau, that's a lovely little jump he's made there, but he won himself plenty of space. Panagiotis with the free kick. Oh, he's hoisted this high into the air looking for Grazia.
Oh.
And Hussein Haram had to come for it. He's clattered into Mohammed El Khalaf.
Well, he looks like he's taken a bit of a knock there. Maybe slightly winded. He doesn't look the tallest of goalkeepers.
No, and out there today, he's certainly not one of the tallest players either. Vakatalasau and Kusi, along with De Paula, will make a rather useful trio in a truncated version of basketball. 3v3 perhaps, but Amicale have got a corner. Just looking at Elil Cruz, who's coming back to defend this, the striker. He's a solid unit as well. He played his football in Malaysia last season before joining Busaiteen. Nelson Soko, little and large.
Yeah, but it's good to see the little man getting in there and sorting out the big boys. And fantastic to see a referee early on trying to sort out the WWE that is corners nowadays.
To the far post, Keltac leaps. 2 Amicale players miss it. Chance for Busaiteen to attack on the break. It's hoisted high into the air by Malek. Now Sultan. Oh, what a challenge. Al Khalaf flew into it.
Already, I think there's reasonably early days yet, but encouraging signs for Amicale that they will pose a threat once they get the ball.
Nicely played by Chino. Kusi gets the better of Vakatalasau, but he's conceded a free kick. Amicale need all the experience they can get, and in Nikos Panagiotis, they've got plenty of experience. He's played in the Hyundai A-League, of course, as we said on Monday. Central Coast Mariners.
He was quality the other night, really was. He was a mile the best player on the park and already looking influential in this one.
Here he goes again. Oh, he's hit the bar! Chance! Oh, it's over the top. An incredible miss, but an incredible moment of encouragement for Amicale.
That just shows he knows the conditions. He's prepared from the other night, and again, just bringing out the unexpected from it. That was intentional. He actually went for that corner to put the pressure on.
Amicale with the best chance of the game. We're in the 10th minute. Amicale 0, Busaiteen 0.
To be fair to Vakatalasau, I think he was just shocked. Maybe he wasn't aware what his teammate was going to be doing. He seemed a bit shocked when it came back off the bar to him.
This is Masavakalo. He's robbed in a bad area. Malik with a chip pass. Well, Busaiteen are struggling in the Bahraini Premier League. They're down near the lower reaches. Their halcyon days of League and Cup double glory do seem to be some time ago now. They've not been perhaps the most fashionable of clubs in the Bahraini setup, and shortly after they won the double, a lot of checkbooks got waived and a lot of players decided to pick up with bigger clubs like Muharraq. De Paula was a player that went in the reverse direction, the Brazilian defender. He's got a habit. He is known for scoring goals at crucial times. There was a run of 2 or 3 matches in the Bahraini Premier League where he popped up and scored the winner in the dying moments of games for Muharraq.
When you're saying that the Busaiteen are struggling in the league, the same could have been said for the glory days of Amicale at the moment in their rebuilding phase. They're obviously focusing on the Oceania Champions League. They've spent, they've invested a bit, but they are rebuilding and haven't dominated the local leagues.
Well, that's quite correct. Tafea have picked up a number of the domestic titles, but they can't afford to do what they're doing at the moment. They're giving up the ball in their own third, and this is a team that has got the capacity to punish ruthlessly any sign of generosity. Here's Abdullah Budhaish. Budhaish again. Let's take another look at this Vakatalasau header. It was a great free kick. Hit the crossbar, and Vakatalasau popped it over the top.
He'll be absolutely kicking himself for that. Always a chance.
Well, they can't afford to miss these opportunities. They might not get all that many. Once Busaiteen settle into a pattern, get used to the conditions, they're playing at a good tempo as you'd expect.
I think the trump card that they've got is Panagiotis. We saw it the other night that it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter really who he's got around him. He's liable to create something. It's whether his teammates can back him up. Oh, another poor giveaway.
Masavakalo's given it away to Al-Jami. Hashim Naim has won a corner. Whoa, well, I thought he had won a corner.
Yeah, may just have bobbled back off and been a very good decision by the referee there.
Well, Nikos Panagiotis is just having a word to Fenedy Masavakalo. He stepped in for Isava Nangaletha, who went off injured in the opening game. He's just telling his teammates to just settle down. Of course, they've given the ball away 3 times already in this opening 10 or 12 minutes. And in Oceania competition, perhaps those are mistakes they would normally expect to get away with. This is Elil, De Cruz, Masavakalo, Bongnaim, Sakama. There's an example there. Sakama might well have expected that ball to find its target against Oceania opponents, but not here. Great ball.
Great ball.
Cruz finds Hashim Naim, taking on Bongnaim. Still going, Naim, and it's Michel Gracia.
You get the feeling that if this is going to be a successful night out for Amicale, that Grazia is going to have a game similar to the one they had the other night.
Yeah, it's going to be much, much harder. Well played by Vakatalasau. Ichino, he's bundled off the ball fairly. Ajaj. Mohammed Sultan surveys his options, goes alone. De Cruz. Ajaj. Over the top, but not by much.
That was a lovely move there from Busaiteen, and Ajaj did well to bring it down. And it just maybe was just pressured into letting his shot off a little bit early. Couldn't quite get his knee above it and keep it down. But again, like I was saying, Gordon, they're giving the ball away. Look at this. Does very well. He's stretching.
It's almost one of those ones, Miles, where you just want it to drop quick so you can put your foot through it.
And to be honest, I think looking at it in the replay, he had more time than I thought he had at first, and perhaps he panicked a little bit.
Well, this is going to take some getting used to for Busaiteen. They may get rather more time than they're used to on the ball, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to take them too long to figure that out and readjust. Oh, that's a heavy touch from Abdullah Al-Ajmi, pardon me. Hogg walked straight into Mujtaba Malek. Kaltak given away to Sultan. It's becoming a more familiar pattern, this turnover of possession. Here's De Cruz. Slip by Malek.
And then he's recovered again as well. It's quite interesting to see so far. Busaiteen seems to be very sharp in trying to correct their mistakes. You've got to be, if you're a member of the Amicale coaching team, you'd be pretty frustrated at the moment the way that you're giving the ball away, and it seems to be almost under little pressure. I suppose in tennis they call it an unforced error.
Well, they're up against a professional outfit, one that knows how to win trophies and football matches, not just in their own country, but around Asia. Here's Giuliano De Paula. Decides to play a straight ball into Naim. Naim's got an option to his left. It's Ajaj. De Cruz looked to make his run early. Shot blocked by Grazia.
Oh,
still going, Grazia.
Wins 3 challenges on the trot.
Toe pokes it forward for Vakatalasau, and De Paula puts it out. A chance for Amicale to regroup, draw breath and take stock. We're in the 17th minute. Amicale 0, Busaiteen 0.
I can't believe 17 minutes has gone already. It just shows that
it's flown past, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a testament to both sides that they're out there and they're playing it at pace. Lots of excitement with lots of errors being made, mainly by Amicale at the moment, but the odd one coming from Busaiteen.
Well, they might well be 1 goal up, Miles, as well. Panagiotis. He'll be relishing this challenge. He needs some help. He's got Alphonse Bongnheim. Vakatalasau put his hand up looking for it. De Cruz has come back to defend. Now Sakama. Good cross from Sakama. It's headed away by Kusi. And Bongnheim saw his name in the newspapers, didn't he?
Playing for the draw. I would have been astounded if he'd managed to find the back of the net. But you can't, not give him credit for being sort of aspirational, shall we say. The wind, I don't know about you, Gordon, but the wind seems to have dropped a little bit.
It has.
Which, and as I say that, it seems to have picked up on the other side. Maybe it's just decided to go on the other side of the pitch from us for a change, which is a blessing.
Kaltak. Panagiotis. Helped on by Vakatalasau. It was a right idea, but De Paula read it like a book. Naim. Al-Khalaf. Al-Ajmi. That's a well-placed ball.
It looked like it was open for it. It's just teasing the defence.
Malek, he's done well. There's a cross to the far post. Naim had other ideas. And the pressure off. One thing I've noticed, Miles, is how these Busaiteen midfielders are just rotating in and out of central midfield. It's the flank player Malek who has dropped in for Mohammed Sultan and then quite happy to go back out onto his usual beat, or at least the beat that he started with at the beginning of the match.
It'd be interesting to see whether that's definitely a tactical thing that they do there, try and confuse the opposition in terms of moving people around, and maybe just testing combinations, ones-on-ones, and seeing who's creating the best chances against their opponent.
To Cruz, Naim taking on Sakama. He's beaten him. There's a cross. Chance for Malek. Oh, and did that hit an arm? Well, it's a corner.
Again, beautifully brought down. Absolutely beautifully brought down. It's just shown the technical skills of this Busaiteen side.
Malek can't get the ball out of his feet and he slips. A chance for Amicale on the break. Vakatalasau. Look at the pace of Vakatalasau. He's heading into a cul-de-sac. Abdullah Budhaish with the tackle.
Did the best thing he could there. He got the throw. He had no support. If he could have perhaps got the ball in front of him, had a little look up, the keeper was well off his line, but perhaps still into a bit of a breeze. Again, the wind's just dropped. It's going to be quite hard to pick it.
Well, the referee spots an infringement. Frustration for the visitors. Well, I suppose they're both visitors in a sense. But in this case,
did you ever think you'd call a game between a Bahraini side and a Vanuatu side?
Not in Auckland. Definitely not in Auckland, but here we are. Panagiotis, the supply line for Amicale. Well, Vakatalasau has gone to the 6-yard box. You can see him there. You can't miss him.
He's just standing there. It's interesting. I don't know whether that's a bit of kidology or psychology, just standing. He wouldn't be able to do much standing 7 yards offside.
I think he was cheekily trying to obstruct Haram's setting of the wall. There's the free kick.
Whoa. He obviously fancies himself tonight, Panagiotis.
Why not? He was a chief architect in Fiji under-20s downfall. And he's going to be the go-to guy for Amicale if they're going to get anything out of this game. Well, Amicale have weathered a storm. We're in the 22nd minute, and it's Amicale 0, Busaiteen 0. Grazia with an uncharacteristic mistake. No punishment, however. Here's Sakama.
Oh, he did very well there, Sakama. Lost his balance,
oh,
but
dear.
Now he's giving it away. Oh, I've got to stop praising people because every time I do, they start mucking it up. Ajaj.
Mohamed Ajaj. Grazia. Masavakalo. Fred. Tries for a switch of play again. Oh, Abdul Karim Kusi for once has taken his eye off the ball. Now Vakatalasau, the battle of the two towers this evening. Uchino.
Oh, lovely. Oh.
Dominic Fred gets a header on target. No power. And easily scooped up by Hussein Haram.
There's a nicely weighted cross there by Uchino. He just held and checked himself for a little bit and took a little bit off the power, but the wind, I think, just drifted it a little bit too far for Fred to get any power in his header.
Elajmi. That's Ajaj who's come deep to collect it. Well, just a period of difficulty for Busaiteen. They seem to have dropped out of kilter after a stirring first 20 minutes. They've just seemed to lost their rhythm for the moment.
Yeah, they don't look too far away from getting it back to me though, at the moment, of what I've seen so far. But having said that, Amicale, there seems to be an extra spring in their step, a little pep. It's almost like they got rid of the cobwebs in that game against the Fiji under-20s the other night and have come out of the blocks a lot better in this one, which they needed to as well.
That's correct.
I suppose the level of opposition will bring out the best in them as well. Oof.
Well, that was a tough ball for Francois Sakama to get from Alphonse Bongnaim. He hit it with his left foot as Sakama was arriving near the touchline.
Alcalaf is actually complaining as if he's the one that's been fouled, but he was almost like a wood chopper there, the way he came through the back. He's saying, look at my leg, but I think if we find here, yeah, well, there's not a lot.
No, that's
Sakama
probably
could have done there.
a yellow card for going through the back of Francois Sakama. Long ball forward for Sakama, but yeah.
Yes, it was really like the offender tried to mitigate it and look as if he was offended against.
Al-Khalaf. Well, Moles, Busaiteen are getting frustrated. They've lost their way a little bit in the last 5 minutes.
You see, Cruz there was just shouting back to Al-Khalaf, what on earth was that? I believe that's what he was saying anyway, probably not quite as polite as that.
Masavakalo, good ball to Panagiotis.
Oh, lovely.
Well,
dispossessed.
He's onside.
No, he's just been called up.
Well, Brian Kaltak was a little bit lucky there. He didn't follow the line held by Grazia and Bongnaim. So far, so good for Amicale, you have to say. They could be 1 goal up even. Uchino. Naim retrieves the ball for Busaiteen.
I think what will count against them though is, again, they're still giving the ball away cheaply. And if they want to build pressure and take advantage of this sort of lull that Busaiteen are going through, they can't afford to do that.
Fakatalasau.
Knock it wide, mate. Come on, there you go. Oh,
well,
unlucky.
He's given it straight to Al-Khalaf. Now, De Cruz. Grazia.
See, the usual switch is happening now. Fred's come over to the right-hand side.
Bongnaim. Tried to nutmeg De Cruz.
Big boy, but seems to have good control.
That's a good ball. Away by Grazia. He had to get in and do some additional defending for his young protege, Kaltak. Deflection chance for Naim. Flag's up. The flag is up. And for Amicale, just what they wanted to see, not what Busaiteen wanted to see either. Mohamed Sultan. De Cruz. Well, you can't go in from behind. Bakatalasau won the ball, but he's not really given Nelson Sogo much choice here, the referee. Oh, that's
lovely.
class.
Lovely.
From Alajmi. Naim. Alajmi for Al-Khalaf. Abdallah Alajmi again for Busaiteen. Sultan. Malek. Perhaps this is Busaiteen
on the right hand side,
getting themselves collected with a period of possession, patiently building up this attack, probing for a way through, but once again, it doesn't last long.
the look of disgust on the coaching staff's face there was a sight for sore eyes.
Well, he's been in the game a long time, Khalifa El-Zayani, former Bahrain international player himself. He's been with Busaiteen for quite some time. And talking to Anthony Hudson about Khalifa El-Zayani, he said that he is the boss here in more ways than one. What he says goes. There was a handball. Whoa! Nelson Sogo says play on. Now Busaiteen have got every right to be in the referee's face here, because Francois Sakama appeared to just collect that with his forearm and then push it through for himself. You can see there from the body language, hey, come on.
Perhaps the guilty conscience made him blaze it away.
De Paula.
But maybe a little bit of a warning there for Busaiteen. that they're going to have the wits about them the whole game here just to not
yeah.
open the door.
You have to show Amicale total respect. They've pushed Auckland City all the way at the last OFC Champions League final. And Auckland City these days, of course, are a cosmopolitan collection of former pros in many cases. Here's Dominic Fred. Al-Khalaf with a well-timed tackle.
But well done by Fred there. He almost played that in there. He thought, well, I'm running out of space. I got in there, let's see what I can get for it to keep possession for my team. And he's managed to get a throw.
Good turn by Fred. Al-Khalaf recovers. Bongnaim. If it's a quality ball. Oh, and Vakatalasau really got the line all wrong there. Budaesh doing the defending for Busaiteen.
It's a decent ball from Bongnaim.
Yeah, it was very decent indeed.
I think Mr. Cruz is going to get a little bit more upset with that one.
Yeah, I'm sure that he's not that keen to be chasing after long direct balls like that. Bongnaim. Grazia. Hoisted forward. This should be meat and drink for Kusi, and it is. Panagiotis, Ichino, well read by Kusi. Malek. Look at that, he's just honing in on him, De Cruz. Panagiotis on the edge of his own box. Well, you don't want him picking the ball up there, do you, Miles?
No, he's far too deep. What I'd be interested to see is to see Cruz with the ball at his feet, get a bit of decent service to him to see what he's got, because he looks as if he's got, for a big guy, he looks pretty decent on the ground, and I like to see him get the ball early and have a run at the defence.
Abdullah Budaesh. Mohammed Sultan.
Oh,
Ichino.
Lucky to get away with that.
Mohammed Al-Khalaf, that's a big touch. He survives the Dominic Fred challenge. So just over half an hour gone. Amicale 0, Busaiteen 0.
It's almost as if Panagiotis has decided, I'm going to go deeper and start to try and create things from the back, and Ichino's slightly pushing forward for him.
Well, it's Masavakalo. You've picked it right, Miles. Masavakalo has pushed forward into that pocket just in behind Vakatalasau, where Panagiotis was previously. Just to try and wrestle a bit more control back for Amicale. It's been hard work and a lot of commitment, but they're going to need a little bit more guile in their own third. We saw them giving away the ball quite a bit in the first 10 minutes. And perhaps coach Jean-Robert Yalou has identified that needs to stop, and it needs to stop pretty sharply.
Beautiful.
Naim might fancy a shot. It opens up before him. Ball through De Cruz.
Oh, he's offside. Cruz was found offside. But some fantastic play there from Naim. The little dummy, we've seen a couple of those from him so far. Created the space and a fantastic ball, I think, which perhaps Cruz wasn't quite expecting.
To Paula.
Game being played at a good pace, Gordon. And with a lot of attacking intent. There's not much fanning around, if you pardon the expression, at the back. As soon as they're going to, and it's not as if they're playing long balls the whole time. They're trying to, as he says, as the ball gets hoofed all the way down.
Right, he's getting an earful, the skipper, from Michel Grazia and Alphonse Bongnaim.
I don't blame him, because you'd have thought that by now he would have sussed out that if you kick the ball long here, don't let it drift anywhere near this right-hand side, because it's going to get blown out.
Sakama does some good work for Amicale. Fred. Ichino. That's well won. Ajaj. Mushtaba Malek. Cutting inside. Still going Malek. Now Naim pops up on the opposite side. Taken down. That's a free kick. Opportunity for DePaula.
He may have made
a
little bit more than that was necessary, but he's got the free kick. they do look dangerous. You can see the professional attitude of the side, the technical ability they've got, their ability to beat a man in a very short space, and there's been about 3 or 4 of them that have been able to do that so far.
Just cut inside Caltech, and
he could have stayed on his feet there. For me, he'd beaten the man. He should have stayed on his feet and cut inside. Perhaps he's maybe on another day he might have done. Perhaps he thought he was playing back in the old Bahraini Premier League.
Well, Hashim Naim will take this free kick. Abdulkarim Kusi is forward. He gets a head on it. Not powerful enough to beat Chika Mansale. Well, it's a truer, straighter kick from Mansale. Wakatalasau's got a bit more pace than Kusi perhaps banked on. Al-Khalaf concedes a throw. Well, the longer this goes on as well for Amicale, 0-0, they'll create a bit of pressure of their own.
And the frustrations will start to come in for Busaiteen, because there's no doubt that the management team are going to be expectant of them. The expectation will be on their shoulders. And the longer the game, as you say, Gordon, the longer the game goes on goalless, the more the pressure's going to increase, and the more the hopes of Amicale are going to lift. You can already see a little bit of a spring in their step coming in there. Wakatalasau's running strongly at the heart of that defence. He seems to be in a little bit better form tonight than he was the other night. He was slightly disappointing the other night. We know what he can be like when he's on form.
Kusi taken short. Sultan.
They could get themselves into trouble there.
No, you almost have. Well, they have. Masavakalo. Crunch goes that tackle.
Oh, nice ball
from Kusi. Masavakalo's offside.
Oh, very close.
That's encouraging for Amicale. You know, if Busaiteen are going to be a little bit too casual.
Exactly, I was going to say slapdash, but casual's a perfect word for it. It's almost as if they could just stroll their way out of it. They got themselves into trouble pretty quickly. Oh, they just showed too much of it there. A bit of a heavy touch from Sakama. Ajaj.
Going into the box, it's well picked up by Ajaj. Naim across to give some assistance, but Naim just will feel a sense of frustration. He didn't get that ball back off Ajaj.
Well, he was in a perfect position to do it. I don't know whether Ajaj just didn't see him or hear him or just decided he knew better.
Panagiotis. Ian Hogg.
Show what a different game it is from the other night, isn't it? Ian Hogg was bursting down that left flank as if it was no tomorrow, and I think that's as far forward as it's been all day today. Oh, lots of space here for Fred.
That's a great ball. First touch needed to be better against Al-Khalaf.
Again, sloppy. And Al-Khalaf again involved in sloppy play at the back there.
38th minute. Amicale 0, Busaiteen 0. Grazia. Well, he could have nodded that back, but the ball was just beginning to die in the bounce.
It was, and all he was going to do was nod it into the path of Cruz, and he did the right thing. Another thing I love about Panagiotis is his physical approach to the game and his non-stop running. He's not just a creative player. Look at the way he's in there. He's going out there now to help close things down.
That's a good ball. Chance about to present itself perhaps. It's away by Brian Caltech. Well, Abdulkarim Kusi is getting an absolute nightmare of an evening against Wakatalasau. Panagiotis.
He's got a look of Marouane Chamakh about him. Except slightly more talented.
Giuliano De Paula.
Again.
Well, Amicale enjoying the best of this at the moment. Good effort from Uchino, but he might have paid a high price for his shot on goal. Vakatalasau complaining that Abdullah Budaish went and studs up. Let's have a look.
I don't know whether he did or not, but nah.
Well, he was entitled to go for it.
Very much so. I think that's just one of those unfortunate incidents, and I think that...
well, Budaish has gone into the book. He isn't going to complain about it. I think it was for the studs up. They were up, but I don't think they made as much of a connection as Adrian Uchino made out.
I thought that it was only a few inches above the ground, and he wasn't going directly into the player. And if you look at Uchino, ran into that with his shot and onto the ball. I think it's a little bit unfortunate there. Uchino will just be grateful that he can still walk.
Well, any higher than that, and you're talking very painful clash. Sultan. Caltech's done well. Ian Hogg. De Paula. Kusi. Alajmi. He's looking for Neem to make a run in behind Bongnaim. He's checked back inside. Malek. Majaj popping up on the right.
Is this where Cruz is going to make his mark if they get the ball into him?
Abdullah into De Cruz. Patient build up from Busaiteen. Masavakalo out there battling for possession. Grazia, well, he went straight through the back.
That's got to be a yellow card, surely. If you get a yellow card for that there, that's got to be a yellow card, surely.
Well, Grazia is pleading a case. He's not going to see a card by the look of it. But in the interest of consistency, you'd think, Miles, as you say, Nelson Sogo would produce one. As it stands, this is a free kick for Busaiteen, right out in front of goal. Chico Mansale. It looks as though he's going to have to deal with a Brazilian free kick. He's gone for 5 in the wall, 6 with Uchino coming in to join.
Or is Naeem going to be the one that does it? You get the Brazilians up there, you line them up, everyone looks at the Brazilians, and Naeem comes in and slots it home.
Well, De Cruz picked the ball up and gave it a kiss. Quite symbolic gesture from him. So I wonder if that...
Maybe he just loves football.
That could be the indicator. Mansale against De Cruz. Shot on goal. Oh! It is a Brazilian free kick. 42 minutes. And Busaiteen have broken Amicale's resistance. And look how happy they are. They mean business. They haven't come to New Zealand to finish second. They lead by a goal to nil with a superb free kick.
Well, it was the time that Cruz was coming in to do it. It's hard to...
You can't stop those.
No. I don't know whether the wall hasn't done its job. Hard to see from that angle, but he struck it well and he placed it perfectly. And they'll be mightily relieved for that, because it was the previous sort of 10 minutes had really been Amicale's.
Good time to score for the team from Bahrain just before the break.
Stern challenge there from Uchino. Oh, that's about the 3rd time Panagiotis has trodden on the ball tonight and given away possession.
Malek. Good run by Ajaj.
I've liked the look of Ajaj. He's got a very good touch on him, and has looked a bit of a threat a couple of times.
Masavakalo. Caltech. Fred. Kusi. Al-Khalaf.
It's going to have to wonder how long they wait really before deciding that Panagiotis should push further forward, and that him picking up the ball so deep is not helping, because Vakatalasau looks a little bit isolated at the moment up front and could probably do with pair of quick feet to help him.
Sultan, it's not a great touch. But as so often the case this evening, they've been able to quickly recover from small moments like that. That's a good touch from Richino.
And I think that's a sign of the pace that they obviously play the game at, week in, week out. They know that there's a minimal time for reaction, that you've got to recover quickly, and it's really holding them in good stead so far this evening.
De Paula, oh, look at that. What a touch by De Cruz. Good covering by Caltech. Well, half time. And Amicale trail by a goal to nil, courtesy of Eliel De Cruz. And Miles, a very, very fast-paced and entertaining first 45
honestly,
minutes.
I thought it was 20 minutes had gone. I really enjoyed that. Both sides have gone out there with attacking intent. It's been enjoyable to watch. A little bit sloppy on occasions. Both sides have been guilty of that. A magnificent goal to seal it with so far at half time, and you'd probably say on the balance of play a deserved lead for Busaiteen, but I wouldn't write Amicale off at all in this. They've shown enough endeavour. I'd like to see Panagiotis move further forward, maybe drop Achino into that deeper lying role and give Vakatalasau some help.
Well, it's been entertaining stuff, and it was Malek who had the first opportunity to open the scoring. Went too high there. Had to go a lot lower, and he knew it. Good save by Mansale inside the first 60 seconds. 8 minutes later, it was Amicale that could have taken a shock lead. Panagiotis free kick, swirls in, strikes the crossbar, was handled onto the crossbar, and then Vakatalasau. You cannot afford to miss those sorts of chances against a team like this.
He snatched at it, didn't he?
Quarter of an hour. Busaiteen, unsurprisingly, on the attack. Najaj takes a touch, rifles this shot just over the crossbar. '24th minute, Najaj again at the centre of things. Has a shot, it broke kindly for Naem. Had it in the back of the net, but he was adjudged offside.
Was it offside, or did he touch it with his arms? It's a bit of one, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there.
And then 42 minutes. Eliel De Cruz broke the deadlock with this free kick, bent it round the wall. Checo Mansale did well to get down to his left, but not well enough. You see here, just bounced in that awkward area for a goalkeeper.
It did look like the wall fragmented, and perhaps we give the credit here. They start moving a little bit. Oh, he's just hit that so well. And the dip on it as well would have made it exceedingly hard for Mansale to save it.
So, half-time at the Trust Arena in Auckland. It's Amicale of Vanuatu 0, Busaiteen of Bahrain 1.
We just want to come out today and interact with the kids. You know, we're really excited to be here, to share our knowledge about the game.
I got all their autographs and I thought it was so awesome because we all get to play with them and meet them.
It's a great opportunity to come over to Auckland. For starters, I've never been here, and just to get involved with all the kids and you know, help show them a few skills and encourage them on what to eat and you know, how to stay healthy. I think it's great for the kids growing up.
Drink loads of water and healthy food. Skills of the soccer ball and how they dribble and that. See a real live football team.
The boys put on some good skills, and even some of the girls had some good touches on them.
We can't wait to play our first game against Fiji, and we hope this time, you know, we came really close in the O-League, but this time, you know, but there's a few teams from abroad, so competition is going to be much harder, but we're hoping to win this time.
So will we see you at the President's Cup next week?
Yes.
What about all your classmates?
We're back at the Trust Arena. It's Busaiteen 1, Amicale 0, and Ilil de Cruz is the difference between the two teams. Miles, how do you see the second half going? Do you think Busaiteen are going to add a couple?
Frankly, yes. As it was coming up to half time, I thought that Amicale was starting to frustrate Busaiteen, and Busaiteen were making some sort of basic errors. But that free kick has got them back on top. And the one thing that really struck me was the way that the whole team, substitute management, celebrated that goal. They've come here for business. They've come here to win it, and they would have got a rocket at half time saying, look, sharpen it up. We're not here for a holiday. Let's not let ourselves down. And I think they're going to be clinical in this half. Let's have a look at this goal here. This is the only goal of the game so far.
Perfect execution of the free kick by Ilil de Cruz. And Chico Mansale got across, but it's this bounce just in front. Oh. All goalkeepers hate it.
Yeah, beautifully hit though, and obviously something that they've been working on, including the movement off the ball, which puts a doubt in the mind of the goalkeeper and the defence. I'd like to see if Amicale are going to get back into this, and it looks at the moment from the lineup, although hard to say, they need to push Panagiotis further forward to give Vakatalasau a bit of support, a bit of threat. There's no point in having him dropping deep and trying to create something unless he splits himself in two and is deep and forward.
Well, we're back underway. The team from Bahrain lead the team from Vanuatu by a goal to nil. Panagiotis, that's a good ball. And immediately Abdullah Budaish has to pull out to clearance, and Amicale start positively. No changes for either side during the halftime break. Amicale with a corner.
We saw Grazia score a good one the other night, wrapping his leg around in front. I don't think he'll get quite an easier ride this time though.
Vakatalasau picked up by Abdul Karim Kusi, as we've seen. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in that penalty area. It's between Brian Kaltak and I think that's Mohammed Sultan.
Seen Kaltak score some great goals from these sort of situations as well. So.
Well, Hussein Haram just coming in to try and calm things down there. Good to see that fractious competitive nature. It's all good. Panagiotis goes short. A variation. Oh, they're doing a very familiar looking short corner.
Bit of panic stations at the back and then given away cheaply again. Not the sort of start I think that Busaiteen would have been looking for. Ichino is going to be an influential figure if Amicale are going to get back into this as well. And perhaps someone we've hardly mentioned, Ian Hogg, was prominent the other night. A different type of game, obviously, this one. Different opponents, far higher calibre.
Sakama. And, whoa, Terry Perry, the assistant referee on that side, is...
I think there's a bit of dramatics coming on in here. I don't know about the holding of the mouth, whether he has caught one. He might have done, but he definitely shoved himself across the body to block him here. Oh, yeah, a bit of an elbow, perhaps.
Well, I don't think that was malicious.
No,
I know that's,
he was trying to block him. He was trying to block him, but perhaps he has copped a bit of a flying elbow in the mush.
Well, Al Khalaf actually, it was his body position. He was going to ground to try and win that ball, which put him at elbow height. It wasn't as if the elbow came up to meet his face.
No, very much so. No, as you say, no malicious intent there. And there is a bit of thing, but I've got to say, I've been hit in the face, as you can imagine, with my attitude many times, and you don't roll around on the ground when you get hit. Bit of a respite here for Busaiteen, maybe to regather themselves. They certainly haven't kicked off this half as they would have wanted to.
Well, momentarily down to 10 men. Bongnheim wins the ball. Ichino hoists it forward.
That was a little, there's a foot went through there. And I think Vakatalasau's felt that. But to be honest, Vakatalasau should have gone to the ball. He was waiting for it. He was asking for the opportunity of an intervention. Could be a card coming out here.
Yep, there is a card. It's for this challenge by Abdul Karim Kusi. Not often you see Vakatalasau, the point victim of a challenge like that. He's usually the one dishing it out.
He certainly is.
He certainly met his physical match this evening.
Yeah. He's not a dirty player. He's just a big physical unit, and that's his style of play.
Amicale have to look at this as an opportunity to level this game. They've got a player on the ball who can deliver a wide variety of trajectories, and
he's going to have another shot.
well, he could do. Can he find an Amicale player? Goes low this time. It's beaten away by El Khalaf.
Oh, lovely. To the beautiful control to bring that down.
Bongnaim. Grazia stays forward. Dominic Fred in support. Oh, he didn't expect to win that ball, Dominic Fred. Oh, he's gone in late. On El Khalaf again. He's got up and recovered quickly. Wow, look at that.
The first it was a header and it came too low, so he got his pectoral muscles out there and popped it away.
Well, very much a Brazilian beach soccer manoeuvre from Giuliano De Paula.
Amicale have certainly haven't come out shyly in the second half, and as we were expecting, Panagiotis has pushed forward.
Well, we saw a pattern like this in the game between Fiji under-20 and Amicale. It was Fiji under-20 came out, really put a lot of pressure on Amicale. For a good period of 15-20 minutes, they didn't make the breakthrough, and Amicale picked off a third goal. It's a pattern that could repeat itself here this evening. Good touch from Sakama. Good cross. Punched away by Haram.
And he had to. I think Dominic Fred was piling down that side and would have had a simple tap in. There seems to be in a chat, perhaps the Amicale have realised that the more they put pressure on Busaiteen, that there's a little bit of lackadaisical.
Oh, Grazia with a desperate challenge. It's a corner for Busaiteen.
That they were liable to make mistakes. They were very sloppy and give the ball away needlessly on the odd occasion.
Well, possession from the goalkeeper usually means a period of time to recover and take stock, but Amicale are finding that when they try and roll the ball out, Busaiteen are all over them. There's a header straight into the hands of Mansale.
Fred drifting into the middle of the park.
Sakama.
It's a real notable part of Amicale's game, the way that they interchange and switch players around. Not about the opposition, but it's confusing for a commentator trying to keep up with it.
Sakama. Good touch by Ajaj. Picked up by Chino. Well, Amicale are going to have to treasure possession with a lot more value than they have done in the last couple of phases of play. There is El Zayani, the coach of Busaiteen. Well played by Keltak for his skipper Mansale. Let's see how Amicale play out from this situation. Immediately Busaiteen pressing and in numbers. Gone long. Good ball to Vakatalasau. An even better ball for Sakama. El Khalaf forced into some acrobatics to defend the pass.
Look at the way that Panagiotis took that down on his chest under pressure and laid it wide.
Free kick conceded. Mohammed Al Khalaf, the guilty party.
I was impressed in that first half by the close control and pace of Naeem and the judge. And one would imagine once they sort of warm to the task and maybe adapt to the conditions that they're going to be a real handful.
Well, an Amicale equaliser would really light the touch paper of this match. It's been enthralling so far. If Panagiotis can get one of these right again, this is a good one. Headed by Sakama! Amicale are level! Francois Sakama with a wonderful header. The little maestro with a superb header, and Panagiotis again, the chief architect. The delivery was superb, and for all the height that they have at the back, Busaiteen have been caught out.
It was almost as if they thought, right, well, we won't worry about him because he's not going to be a threat. We'll just keep an eye on the likes of Kaltak and Vakatalasau, and he was unmarked. He just, no one within 3 yards of him.
What a morale booster, and we have got a goal that has lit the touch paper. Long range shot, Mansale, easy enough for the skipper of Amicale. Well, no club from Vanuatu has played a club from Bahrain. And up until a moment ago, they hadn't scored against a club side from another confederation. They have now. And it's Francois Sakama, who just came back from a stint in club football in Tahiti. He isn't always a starter these days for Amicale. He started tonight and he scored tonight.
He's looked up for it tonight, but as we were saying, Gordon, that Amicale have come out of the blocks in this half, and Busaiteen were a little bit flat-footed. I would have expected it to be the other way around. Professional side, 1-0 up, a very seasoned and experienced coach.
Well, that's another good ball in by Panagiotis. Ian Hogg. Just a straight thumped ball forward. De Paula. Well, he was guilty for letting Sakama go at the corner. This ball wound in is an easy one for Haram to take. Well, we've seen the two sides of the Brazilian footballing character. A wonderful free kick and then some pretty loose marking that led to a Vanuatu goal, but Sakama had it all to do.
Yeah, it was a good header. We don't want to undersell him on that one.
Here is De Cruz. Bongnaim back defending. They've conceded a corner of their own. So Busaiteen back asking questions of the Vanuatu side. We hope you're enjoying this coverage, especially in Port Vila now. You've probably leapt out of your chair and been jumping up and down with joy because...
Well, they've got every right to as well. Their side are doing them proud at the moment.
Clipped in. De Paula nodded down, cleared by Amicale. Well, an intriguing scenario throws itself up here because if this game were to finish 1-1, and I know there's a good amount of time, some 33 minutes to go, but if it were to finish 1-1, Busaiteen would then have to beat Fiji under-20s by more than 4 goals.
To make it through to the...
Well, they'd have to 4-0 minimum.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, because it's the goal difference was 3, isn't it? So
we'd have to suggest that Busaiteen are capable of achieving that. So Amicale really have to go and win this game.
The way they're playing at the moment, there's no saying that they won't. I really do expect Busaiteen to come out and boss this half right from the start.
Well, if they can get this right, that's a good clearance by Vakatalasau back there defending for his team. Al Khalaf.
And he had to make sure he brought that one down correctly because he had the one man on the opposition you didn't want to get the loose ball.
Haram coming all the way up. There's the long ball. Grazia with the header. Busaiteen have been shaken, they've been rocked by this brave Amicale performance. Vakatalasau. Well, just as this game gets stretched, Miles, I just wonder if that's going to suit Busaiteen.
You'd like to think that, look how deep Cruz has dropped here. You'd think that it would do. The more it opens up, you'd expect the more professional side, the side playing at arguably a higher level, more experience, would be able to take advantage of it. And they do certainly look as if they've got perhaps a few more aces in their pack.
Well, it's the fine margins that make the difference in matches like this. As Ian Hogg goes to ground, he's
I don't know how much
claiming
he's actually
he got the
hurt
ball.
there, to be honest. Be interested to see a replay of that to see where the treasure. I just thought it was two guys going for the ball, and perhaps nothing really much in that.
Another
It's
chance
almost
for
like
the Cruz.
Both of them were lying down there trying to see who would get the free kick. Now, since it just looks like a little bit further out perhaps than last time, but he's shown what he can do, and you know that Mansal is going to be.
Well, Elil de Cruz hit it with his right foot and tucked it just inside the right hand upright in the first half. I rather fancy that he could go the opposite side here. Is it in his repertoire? Gonzalez drifted across to his right. De Cruz, he went the same side, didn't hit the target.
Danger averted there for Amicale. You can see their confidence lifting though as this half progresses. And on the back of that equaliser.
Another look at the free kick, off target. Busaiteen. Busaiteen pressing every chance they get. They know that if they do that, there's a chance
unlucky
that Amicale could cough up possession. But they've got their tails up, Amicale.
Sakama's been a live wire all night tonight, hasn't it? It's been a pretty decent game for him, justifying his inclusion in the starting lineup.
He played 7 or 8 games for Central Sport in Tahiti's Division Federal this season. He began life with Amicale, of course, before spending a couple of months in Tahiti, and he's only just come back.
So another Busaiteen player gone down in a screaming heap, maybe intimating a bit of elbow action again. That's an interesting coloured pair of boots there. Looks like a pair of he's just put his work shoes on. Maybe straight to the nightclub afterwards.
Well, Mohammed El Khalaf has had plenty to say to referee Nelson Sogo this evening.
I don't know if there was too much in that. Look at that.
No.
He's looking around, asking for it, and then goes down. And that's sort of histrionics. Frankly, if your kids behave like that, you'd send them straight to bed with no supper.
De Cruz.
A bit of space out on the right here. Oh, didn't find him.
Mohammed
That's
Sultan.
Oh no, he's kept it in.
Well, he's played for a free kick there. Ian Hogg, who's letting Abdullah Badesh know his thoughts on his intentions.
And that's one thing that struck me actually in every game that we've seen so far. There's been full commitment, a lot of passion. All these sides desperately want to win. No one's here just to have a little run around and a bit of fun.
Adrian Achino.
Oh, not quite the ball that he was looking for.
Grazia. Panagiotis.
Maybe a slight touch of his hand there, but he's got away with it. Oh, and he's given the ball away. This could be dangerous.
Well, here's the transition. Grazia.
Oh,
well
beautiful.
played. Michel Grazia for Amicale. Sakama. Well, they've just grown in stature since they've equalised, Amicale. Well, Grazia's got into the back of Mohamed El Khalaf, who once again, I do apologise, that's actually Abdul Karim Kusi.
He's sharing it out. He's sharing the love, Mr. Grazia. He really has. The last 2 games, well, game and a half, he's really impressed me. Strong, forthright, and the amount of times that he's been the last man in, the last-ditch tackle, and shown over there in that move earlier on that he's got a fair bit of skill as well if you give him the opportunity. It's one of those players that you just really enjoy to have in your side.
Uchino, picked up by Vakatalasau. Bongnaim, hoisting it forward. Easy one for Kusi. Straight to Panagiotis. Trying to get into a position to shoot. It's taken a deflection. It's out for a corner.
And perhaps lucky it did take that deflection. We saw what he could do with his right foot, and he was maybe about to do a repeat with his left this time.
Midway through the second half, Amicale of Vanuatu 1. Busaiteen of Bahrain 1. Francois Sakama scoring on 53 minutes. Elil De Cruz opened the scoring on 42 minutes. Can Vakatalasau get on the act?
Now who's going to get told off here? Is it Uchino? Or is it
corner hoisted over. It's dealt with by Naeem. There's a shot from Fred. Oh, and the spin, the vicious spin.
Looked like a bit of a leg break.
Difficult one for Haram. He might have lost his bearings there and decided not to take chances. It would have gone out for a goal kick, but it was swirling and spinning, as you could see. Francois Sakama really starting to get into his work here, Sakama. Busaiteen almost playing on the break. They're under so much pressure.
Could be a card coming out here. Yeah, he's been patient. He's been patient. I think he's had a good game so far, to be honest. The referee, maybe the odd little error, but he's been pretty much on top of it.
Chino. Yeah, he got it all wrong there, and he grabbed a handful of shirt. That's a yellow card. Yeah, Nelson Sogo's done a good job so far, the referee from the Solomon Islands.
Amicale's still in control of this game, though.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way.
Yeah.
They're well worth the 1-1 scoreline. Whether or not it stays like that's entirely unknown. De Cruz. El Khalaf. Mohammed Sultan. Well, you cannot go through the back of players like that. Michel Grazia can complain, but he gave away the free kick in the first half that Elil De Cruz scored from in similar circumstances, and he's repeated it.
And I think his eyes will be lighting up now because it's a nice position for him.
Giuliano might fancy a turn, having watched De Cruz earlier effort go wide. He's certainly going to be invested in this, given what happened for the Sakama equaliser, or what didn't happen in that case, which was tight marking.
I'm still waiting for Naeem to hit it. He seems to turn up at all these free kick situations, and so far he's just been the decoy.
Well, I think this is Giuliano De Cruz. Or is it Naeem? It is Naeem. Tidy goalkeeping from Chika Mansale. Abdul Karim Kusi engaging in
bit of kidology. Perhaps trying to slow the game down to give him a chance to turn around and run back into position.
Well,
definitely a reason for a free kick there. I mean, he hadn't even let the ball go. He was just standing there.
Well, I think it was for obstruction, perhaps. In any case, play continues. Sakama against Al Khalaf. Al Khalaf has had a tough time of it against Sakama.
I've been impressed with Sakama tonight. He really has. He's been energetic, worked really hard, and he really has given Al Khalaf a torrid time. Oh! And now, this will be fascinating because he's drawn the foul. He's got them a free kick.
And Panagiotis has shown it doesn't matter what range he's at, his delivery is dangerous.
The dipping, swerving with this, still the little bit of wind. It's a lot less than it has been over the last couple of days, but there's still enough there to make the ball move around, and the conditions are like that. We saw it before with that little spin that...
I have to say, I haven't seen Francois Sakama playing as well as this in a long time. He was one of the young up-and-comers in Vanuatu football around 2004. He's no longer that fresh-faced youngster. Masavakalo over it, but don't think there's going to be any doubt that it's Panagiotis. Hits the wall.
Yeah, they didn't fall for that one. Could be danger here.
On the counter-attack, Busaiteen. Well, that's not at the greatest of balls forward. Away by Bongnheim. It's going to have to be better. Miles, it's 20 minutes to go, and for Amicale, a draw would be almost like a win, no matter what the group ends up looking like at the end of it. Even if they don't qualify for the final.
And to be perfectly honest, they're more than worth at least a point at the moment.
Dominic Fred. Brian Keltak. Excellent ball by Brian Keltak. Lovely touch by Sakama. Still going Sakama. Might fancy a shot on target, but it lacked power.
Oh, you can't blame him for having to go the way things are going for him tonight. That was just superb skills. Maybe the glory replay was already flashing through his mind as he struck that one.
Sakama releasing Vakatalasau. Al Khalaf is getting a torrid evening.
He loves seeing the old chesty stuff there, doesn't he?
Dominic Fred. Amicale absolutely buzzing at the moment. They're switching play almost at will. It's a completely different second half. Kusi, unconvincing clearance. Still in the air. Uchino can't win it. It's won by Ajaj, who we haven't seen for some time. De Cruz up against Ian Hogg. Fascinating contest here. Alajmi. Mohammed Sultan.
Oh.
Well, it's just going wrong for Busaiteen here.
And I think they're being forced into these mistakes by the endeavour and the energy and determination of this Amicale side, who have been very impressive. When you think back to the other night, on Monday night, when they were looking rusty and sort of knocked out of their stride by the Fiji under-20s.
Picked up by Panagiotis.
Unlucky. There's definitely a left-hand bias on this on the conditions here. They've got a better chance of knocking it onto the far side. Impassive look there.
Yep. Plenty for El Ziani to be considering in terms of changes. I wouldn't be surprised to see him start to employ some of his substitutes just to try and change things up. His team has lost their way.
Well, we haven't seen anything of Naeem and Ajaj in this half, when in the first half they were a constant threat.
Amicale have actually adjusted to the challenge. They've adjusted very well, particularly in the second half.
And there's another person I think's had a good game tonight, is Vakatalasau. He was a little bit off colour the other night, but tonight he's worked really hard as that front man, put himself about, supported his other teammates. And it looks like I don't know if he wants to go off, but he may be going off.
Well, 3 Oceania teams against 2 teams from the AFC and 1 from CONCACAF, each preparing for their own particular challenges on the international stage. Amicale have the OFC Champions League next season, next April rather. Auckland City preparing for the FIFA Club World Cup in Morocco, and Fiji under 20 off to the under 20 World Cup here in New Zealand in May, June of next year. And if you at some point questioned the wisdom or perhaps the concept behind the OFC President's Cup, I think tonight's game is proof perfect of exactly why it's been realised as a competition. It's to give international standard matches to Oceania teams that are hoping to do well on the world stage. And we've seen here tonight Amicale, who struggled in the first 10 or 20 minutes to get to grips with the pace of Busaiteen. They've adjusted nicely. And here it is, one each.
I think if you ask any of the people associated with either of the three OFC clubs or entities, all of them without doubt would say how valuable this is for them, and they and every side that's taken the field so far has really got it stuck in. Here he is,
Naim against Hogg.
Just well done.
He's just got a foot in there, Ian Hogg. Valuable interception. Mohammed Sultan still going. Naim to his right. Uchino. And a late challenge on Uchino. No hard feelings between the two players.
Sultan puts the hand up and takes the responsibility for the foul.
Panagiotis.
Oh.
And Giuliano De Paula says he got... Well, it's gone Busaiteen's way. Amicale have to readjust there.
I think that's because Vakatalasau made just stuck his leg in front of it just to block him without any sort of real ownership of the ball.
That's a good ball by Panagiotis. De Paula. Oh, dear me.
Wow, magnificent. Not only did he play the ball away, but he managed to hurdle over the top of the not exactly slight Vakatalasau.
I'll tell you what, Miles, some of the body language of the Busaiteen players isn't the most positive. De Cruz just gave up when that ball came in. It was well within his range of...
He better be hoping that his manager hasn't picked that up, or else he could be heading for an early shower and a good rollicking. Oh,
Chino past three Busaiteen players. Sakama, Vakatalasau, Panagiotis. Vakatalasau just needed more power, a better connection to test Haram. Here's Naim. Both these players have more or less cancelled each other out down this right-hand side. Oof! Vakatalasau nearly got there again. Is there a winner in the offing here for Amicale?
There's Grazia again linking with his forward players.
Sakama against El Khalaf. Breaks kindly for Malek.
I think that's the first time Al Khalaf's gone down tonight that he hasn't pled for a foul. Oh no, he's still doing it, he's still asking.
Panagiotis walks into De Paula. There's
really
four players forward for Amicale, and Saleh has to race off his line. It's end-to-end stuff at the moment.
It's really opening up, isn't it? It's getting very, very stretched and fragmented and lacking shape, which makes for an exciting last 15, 13 minutes that we've got.
Well, it's an important 15 minutes for Amicale because they've already played 3 games in the space of 6 days here in New Zealand. They were beaten 4-1 by Waitakere United in a friendly last Thursday. They had a game on Monday. That's a good ball by Hogg as it's cleared. And here they are again, but this time against a fully professional team from Bahrain. And so far they're holding their own. Naim against Brian Keltak, exposed against the centre half. The right winger going inside onto his left foot. Good defending from Uchino.
The way they're covering for each other though, Gordon, that's fantastic for Uchino. He's been running everywhere in this half.
Dominic Fred against Budash. He hasn't looked out of place here tonight, Dominic Fred, I can tell you. Elajmi. Bongnaim. Oh, he read it well, but he didn't make the connection.
The point well made there. We've been given all the plaudits to Sakama on the right-hand flank. But Fred has proved a more than capable outlet on this side when the occasion has arisen.
Good ball. First touch by De Cruz. Well defended by Brian Keltak. Amicale throwing everything into this performance.
He's had a far better game tonight, Brian Caltech, than the other night. He's the sort of player that I like seeing pushing a little bit further forward as well. I think that he'd make a good sort of holding midfield player with the opportunity to maybe sort of push forward. It's definitely got an attacking.
Look at the gap in midfield. It's just opened right up. De
Oh, here we
Cruz,
go.
flag goes up.
Mind you, Mansale was out there again very, very quickly. The goalkeepers in fact, every team have been pretty impressive, haven't they?
There's been a lot to admire in today's two matches for different reasons. The goalkeeper, Ramon Seeley of Bodden, showed himself to be an impressive player, and we can understand why he was looked at by MLS clubs and continues to be so.
I can't believe that he's only 23 years old, and as we were told earlier on, he's leaving straight after this tournament to go and play cricket for the Cayman Islands.
Amazing stuff.
They're looking increasingly desperate, Busaiteen, as if they're sort of hit and hope, really, and sort of Route 1 football almost.
Well, they're going to have it all to do against Fiji if the score stays the same, but you have to ask the question, are they going to hold on for a draw?
Do you know something? That's exactly what I'm saying. I think Amicale are looking far more likely to pinch a winner here.
Sakama, Vakatalis out, Panagiotis! Oh! An absolutely beautiful goal by Nikos Panagiotis! Amicale have taken a shock lead. It's been coming for some time, but nevertheless the impact of it, the implication of it against a fully professional team from the Middle East. A glorious strike by a top player.
He really got over that one so well, and I think
look at this.
The challenge here is left by Vakatalis, left it for his mate. Beautifully struck, under pressure as well.
Vakatalis played the dummy. Panagiotis lashed it into the back of the net. Amicale lead Busaiteen by 2-1.
Fully deserved as well, it has to be said.
And Busaiteen, who looked as though they could roll right over the top of Amicale at the beginning, are now staring down the barrel of a defeat against an Oceania side that finished runners-up in the OFC Champions League last April. Busaiteen have to score or they're out. They'll be playing off for third by the looks of it. De Cruz.
Yeah, what are they made of now? What have they got left? It's you'd have to think that it's going to be a mistake from Amicale that's going to allow Busaiteen back into the game, because their energy, their application has been superb in this second half.
Ichino,
who's really stepped up as well in the second half. He's taken over that sort of deeper lying role that Panagiotis played in the first half.
What a ball from Brian Caltech. Sakama taking on El Khalaf. He's got Panagiotis in the middle. Haram comes and claims. Well, this is going to be a major upset. Amicale 2-1 up against Busaiteen of the Bahraini Premier League. These players they're playing against earn their living as footballers. They've still got it all to do. There is a good 8.5 minutes of normal time left to be played. That's a good ball. Malek, good cross. Away by Ian Hogg.
His old Fred has dropped deep to come and help out. Beautiful football.
Panagiotis, Sakama to his right. Vakatalis out ahead of him.
Oh, lovely ball. He drew the defence. Has he overhit it? No, he's kept it in.
Sakama delivers it to the edge of the box for Dominique Fred. Takes a touch wisely. Brings Uchino in. That's a waste. He's lucky to get away with it. But all those moments in the first half, Miles, where Busaiteen were giving the ball away and able to, in some cases, snatch it back, that's gone. That's just a distant memory. Panagiotis. He's got a free kick.
And who's to say he's not going to put the icing on the cake from this one? He's certainly, and they've just—it's a different side. At half-time when they came out, we said it at the beginning there. We expected Busaiteen to really up their pace. They would have got a rocking in the dressing rooms at half-time. They just—it's a bit harsh to say that they haven't come out. They haven't been allowed to play in this half, and Amicale have gone from strength to strength. And I'm so impressed with them. I can't even find the words. They really have been. It's been a heartwarming performance, and we need that because it's reasonably nippy over this side. And I'm sort of like the island boys. I'm used to a nice bit of warmth nowadays.
At least I'm used to my gas heater at home. Let's
well,
put it
there
that
you
way.
go. I tell you what, this would not surprise me if he slots this right in the back of the net. The way this game has been going.
Well, this to confirm a place in the final of the OFC President's Cup. It's Nikos Panagiotis! Good save! Great save by Hussein Haram to keep Busaiteen in the game. He had to be at full stretch. Now it's De Cruz.
Don't foul him. You don't need to foul him. You don't need to foul him. You've got 10 players back there that would have stopped him.
Well, what an inspiration this could be for all teams, all club sides in Oceania. If Amicale could lead the way and win against a professional side. Only Auckland City's managed to do it on a great number of occasions, and Amicale could become the next. Here's a Chino. De Paula. Al-Zayani hasn't made any changes to his
none
team.
at all, and that's really fascinating. What you wonder what's going on in his thought patterns is that, you know, you're out there, you've got to get yourselves out of it, which seems a bizarre thing to do. We don't know. It'd be interesting to find out what he's got to say after the game if it ends up like this. The one thing that's one of the things that impressed me about Amicale as well is that sometimes when these sort of semi-professional sides get into a position like this, they start to panic a little bit and start to get ahead of themselves. But so far, I hope I'm not the kiss of death, but so far, Amicale have looked reasonably composed. Beautiful goal.
Well, it's a corner. Amicale.
A little bit unlucky there.
A little bit unlucky, I have to say.
Probably a good decision, but they've kept their composure. They've kept playing football.
Corner taken short. Wound in, away by Busaiteen.
Not very well away by him.
No, he would have liked it to be a lot more straight and a lot further away.
Well, 4.5 minutes plus added time.
Ian Hogg's made a mistake.
Oh, well done.
Naeem, chance! Oh, it's blocked. Another chance for Busaiteen, and it's wide. Amicale hanging on by the skin of their teeth.
Is that Brian Caltech got his body in the way there? Total commitment, keeping their composure. Is what I was saying. The way that this half's looked, it's going to be a mistake from Amicale rather than brilliant skill from Busaiteen, because Amicale are just looking totally in control.
There's another look at it. It was a Jaju tried the bicycle kick and it went wide. Well, Vanuatu have suffered a lot of football heartache over the last 12 months. They missed out on the OFC U20 Championship in Fiji. It was felt that they had the team that was capable of qualifying for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. It didn't happen. Amicale suffered their own form of heartache. That saved penalty by Tamati Williams from Colin Marshall ensured that Auckland City won the title for the 4th year in a row. And again, the prospect of going to 2 FIFA World events in the space of 6 months disappeared. And while a FIFA event's not on the offing here, there is a big morale boost that will be associated with a victory over a professional team from the Asian Football Confederation, from Bahrain, if they can hang on. Naeem. Mohammed Sultan just swings it in. He didn't really take a look. It was more guesswork by the look of it.
Look at the composed way that they played their way out. Okay, the last ball was a bit of a hit and miss, but frankly, they're playing for time now.
It's 11 Amicale players behind the ball. Naeem against Hogg. No options. He's going to have to go his own. Hogg putting in some big strides to keep pace with Naeem.
Did well, held him up. Didn't commit himself. Stayed on his feet.
De Paula.
And that's a loose ball there. Sakama picking that up or letting it go out.
History about to be made for Vanuatu. They haven't had a result quite as similar to this since they defeated New Zealand in the 2004 OFC Nations Cup. A decade ago, over 10 years ago.
Well, I'll give a round of applause to Vakatalasa. I think he's manned up tonight.
Damalip is on for Amicale. Vakatalasa's put in a big shift. We haven't seen a performance like that from him in some time. He wasn't his usual self against, for Bar in the last OFC Champions League, but here tonight, like so many others, Dominic Fred, Francois Sakama, Chika Mansale hasn't put a foot wrong or a hand wrong. A minute and a half of normal time to go. Amicale 2, Busaiteen 1. Who would have picked that? De Cruz. He's only got one target in the box, and it's Nyam. Well, they need more blue shirts in there if they're going to try and claw this back. De Cruz. Mohamed Sultan, straight to Achino.
Sakama's gone free here if he can be found. Oh, just drifted wide. Let's see how many minutes. Is that one?
It is 1 minute. There's been no substitutions by Busaiteen. That's probably contributed to the number that Nelson Sogo has advised the fourth official. 30 seconds to go in normal time. Amicale 2, Busaiteen 1.
It would be absolutely cruel for Amicale to let it slip from here.
Well, to be quite frank, Busaiteen so far have got what they've deserved in the second half. You know, the difference has been that true piece of quality by that player chasing the ball right now. Nikos Panagiotis, free kick taken quickly. There's mayhem in the middle of midfield.
Oh, lovely from a
It's still with Busaiteen. Budash can't get past Dominic Fred. It's all over. Amicale have created history. They've defeated Busaiteen by 2-1. They trailed by 1-0, but they've done it. They've won the group. They've beaten Fiji under 20s 3-0, and they've had a victory here tonight against a professional team, against a team that earn their living from the game of football as professional players. And Miles, they fully deserved it.
Very, very much so. We both at half-time thought that Amicale had put up a sterling effort in the first half, but once the Busaiteen had taken the lead, they were going to kick away with it. We couldn't have been further from the truth.
Let's look at the highlights,
as I'm sure this will show us.
8 minutes into the second half. The equaliser from Francois Sakama. The marking was loose. It was non-existent, in fact. And Hussein Haram couldn't stop it. And it was from this delivery from Nikos Panagiotis. Beautiful ball in. Sakama up. Got his header on target. The goalkeeper could do nothing. And De Paula will get a good look at the lack of marking here.
Well, what it is they've been drifted in there with Caltech and Vakatalasau and left Sakama all on his own.
6 minutes later, a chance, and De Cruz gets it off target. That was as close as Busaiteen came, really, to troubling Chika Mansale. He didn't have much to do. 68th minute. This touch from Sakama. A second, gloriously going beyond Kusi, but he lacked power. 79 minutes. And then here it came. Look at this, popped up by Sakama. Vakatalasau let it go. Panagiotis with the goal of the tournament so far. True class, absolute quality.
That's a superb. Technically, you can't get better than that. And he scored a pretty special goal the other night as well.
7 minutes to go. Panagiotis could have added to Busaiteen misery, but this wonderful save from Hussein Haram. And with 5 to go, Ian Hogg missed out Hayem, and then Bajaj tried the bicycle kick. It was well, it was well wide in the end, and you could see there on Grazia's face, they felt that this game was well within their grasp of winning, and that's how it proved to be. Let's get some post-match reaction.
Here in your opening match, can you tell us what you thought of your side's performance?
شوف المباراة الفريقين لعبوا مباراة زينة انتهزوا الفرصتين اللي حصلوهم الفريق الأحمر على الفريق الأبيض البسيتين حصلوا الفرص دي ترجموها أهداف المباراة في مجملها يمكن تليق بالفريقين مباراة قدموها أحسن عرض أتمنى أن يلعبون يوصلون على المباراة دي مثلا.
We played good. They created many chances. They created many chances and they scored. The difference we didn't score the chance we created.
An interesting tactic, perhaps, not to use your substitutes. Was there a reason behind that?
شنو اهتماماتك بالتكتيك اللي لعبته يعني؟
ضغط على الفريق في منطقته محاولة أن نلعب الكرات الأرضية أفضل لنا يمكن انخدعوا شوي في الكرات تسرع فيها في منطقة الثلث الأخير ضيعوا علينا فرصتين 3 كانوا أجمل ما يكون أن يسجلون فيها أهداف المباراة لازم فيها غلط لازم فيها صح اللي بياخذ الغلط معناته بياخذ الخسارة واللي بياخذ الصح بياخذ الفوز.
We try to play pressure in a team and play on the ground but we missed the chance. شنو قلت بعد كابتن؟
عملية الضغط على رقم 9.
We try to press in number 9 because he's the best player in the team.
So next match is against the Fiji under-20s. Can we expect a strong performance and perhaps you're after the 3 points again?
مباراتنا الجاية مع فيجي ايش تتوقع؟
نحاول ان نكون في المركز الرابع او الثالث ان شاء الله.
We try to make it third or fourth. We then make a 3 point.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So Khalifa El Ziani, the defeated coach.
I don't think we got a response there, did we, of why he didn't use his substitutes? It absolutely baffles me. Perhaps we might be able to find out a little bit later on.
Well, let's get some post-match reaction from a Amicale perspective.
I took my ear off. Congratulations, a well-deserved victory. Are you happy with what the boys did out there on the pitch tonight?
Yes, honestly, I'm very happy with my boys. I think they did what we learned in the training. So to me as a coach, I'm happy with them.
Perhaps not a lot of information on Busaiteen ahead of this match. So how did you approach it, given that you weren't sure about your opponent?
To me, the game against Busaiteen is a good for us. I think those who organize OFC organize these tournaments, especially is very, very important for us as team who go to next O-League. So we are one of them. So I think not just only for this win, but also for our preparation for the next O-League.
Currently at the top of the group going into the playoffs, but obviously we have to wait until Friday's matches. Is there a side that you're hoping to meet on Sunday?
Yeah, as I said in the first place, every team we come here, we respect them. I know they are good teams, so we need to work a lot to go for the next stage.
Thanks.
So Jean-Robert Yalou understated in his joy, but I think, Miles, we're looking at an OFC Champions League final replay, perhaps between Auckland City and Amicale. That remains to be seen, of course. There is a game on Friday, and a wonderful day's football. It was good stuff.
It's been magnificent. In fact, those 180 minutes plus injury time have gone past in the space of about 20. fascinating, great football, and a magnificent win for Amicale. And I think that they're a little bit understated there. I'm sure that they're going to go back to their hotel tonight and just really appreciate what they've done, not just for themselves, but for Oceania football.
So all that remains for me to do is to wish you all very well, wherever you are in the world, wherever you watched today's OFC President's Cup coverage from OFC TV. I'm Gordon Watson, and on behalf of Miles Davis, we wish you farewell for now.